The Quest for Excellence, featuring Lisa Ford. It's been said that excellence isn't a sometimes thing, it's an all-the-time thing. Lisa Ford believes that this attitude is particularly critical in the quest to attain personal, service, and leadership excellence. She should know. Lisa Ford is a specialist in advising companies about how to build their businesses through service excellence. Her best-selling audio, video, CD-ROM, and DVD training programs have generated in excess of $40 million in revenues. Let's join Lisa Ford as she takes us on the quest for personal, service, and leadership excellence.
The quest for excellence, personal, service, and leadership excellence. A few years back, Tom Peters wrote a best-selling book titled In Search of Excellence. Let's take that to the next level and discuss the quest for excellence by focusing on 3 areas: personal excellence, service excellence, and leadership excellence. I believe excellence is a discipline, one that requires focus daily. Luckily, I also believe excellence is something we make happen. Let me ask you, how do you define excellence? What words come to mind?
Satisfied.
Satisfied? Integrity? Commitment. Great. What else?
Being the best you can be.
Being the best you can be. High standards. What else?
Doing extra.
Being extra and doing and going that extra. That's great. I agree with all of those words. The high standards, being the best, commitment, integrity. Other people might say quality, professionalism, success. I'll add excellence is also an outlook and an attitude. Excellence needs to be maintained and renewed daily, and you do that through a focus. Excellence is not something we can achieve once and say, well, we've done it, and we don't have to keep it up. Well, we do. Constant renewal is necessary. The exciting thing is you inspire everyday excellence in people around you. Let's look at the 3 areas: personal, service, and leadership. Here are the 6 keys to personal excellence. 1, love change. Now, you laugh because of the way I say love change, but I think that's exactly what you have to do. And you know why? Everything's changing. We don't have a choice. Competition is changing. The marketplace, customers change. Incredible changes with technology. Oh, and I heard this the other day about our knowledge. Research is saying that kids coming out of university today, in 5 years, their knowledge will be obsolete. It's a bit scary. Oh, they also tell us that those same new employees getting a job, before the end of their working life, they will have 8 to 9 career changes. Wow, it's tremendous. That's what's going on around us. But I need to ask you, how do most people feel about change? To understand change, let's walk through the 4 stages we go through when it comes to dealing with change. The first stage of change is oblivion. We act as if it's not happening. Okay, and if we just ignore it, it might go away. Here's an example. I saw this not too long ago. I was in someone's office. In his office, I saw this really nice personal computer sitting over on a counter, a small table across from his desk. So I started asking questions about his personal computer, and was everyone in the company linked up, and is that how they communicate, via personal computer? And he finally, with reluctance, said, I don't really know how to use the computer. Like, okay. I said, how long have you had it? And he said, I think about 14 months. His bias was, if he just ignored it, maybe it will go away. or retirement will come first. Okay? A lot of us deal with change by ignoring it, by oblivion. The second stage is rebellion. Now, sometimes we're rebellious in very vocal ways of, I don't want to do this, and I somewhat go kicking and screaming, or sometimes it's a little more on the quiet side, but we're still disruptive, or we still irritate others around us. We'll say things like, it'd be nice if we could go back to the good old days. Let me tell you what it used to be like around here. And that's how many of us deal with rebellion. The third stage is one where you play a very strong part. It's the motivation stage. The motivation. People have to be motivated to act, to accept the change. So I believe what you must do is talk to those around you about what's in it for them to accept the change. Sell the benefits to get people to really embrace the change and move forward. This all means we have to accept the change ourselves first before we can talk others into accepting it. And I believe people will accept change if they have full information and honesty from you. So give them as much information as possible. And the fourth stage is adaptation or acceptance. Adaptation or acceptance. Now, many of us go through those stages sometimes in 10 minutes, or we never get to the fourth stage of acceptance, or possibly 5 years. It really depends on the magnitude of the change. Our speed really varies, and certainly different personalities. Keep in mind, the third stage is one of the most important because it's up to you to move people into being motivated to move to the fourth stage of acceptance. So the first key to personal excellence is, once again, love change. And the second step is take risk. Take risk. Get out of status quo, of doing the same old thing. Don't suffer from what's been called rust out. Now that's different from burnout. It's rust out. These are people who just aren't doing anything differently. Some of these people get very comfortable doing the same old thing, just sitting around, talking about what they're going to do, trading opinions. Do you know these people who just constantly talk about what they're going to do? Yeah, and you hear them one more time talk about what they're going to do. What do you feel like saying? Do it already, or shut up about it. Okay, we really get tired of hearing it. So I want you to be the person who gets on with doing something. Move forward, take risk. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself so that you can get more comfortable taking risk. When you're facing that risk, ask yourself this first question: what's the worst thing that could happen? And then the second question, what's likely to happen? And the third question, what's the best that could happen? Most of us stop with the first question, what's the worst that could happen? We answer it and we go, woo! And we get paralyzed and we don't move forward. We move to inaction instead because of the answer. That's the reason you need the next 2 questions. What's likely to happen and what's the best that could happen? Take the risk. Even if it doesn't work, learn from it and continue to move forward. Now, the third key to personal excellence is make mistakes. Now, good. I'm glad to see a number of you shaking your heads. That's an okay one. Those of you who didn't shake your heads, okay, at least get comfortable with making mistakes. And here's why I say it. Let's say you finally take action, you take a risk, and it doesn't go very well. You make a mistake. Well, what do many of you call a mistake? A learning experience. An opportunity. That's exactly what I want you to see it as. A learning opportunity, an experience. There's a lot of truth to that. It really is a chance for you to simply move forward. A great quote I heard once goes like this: "A mistake is just another way of doing things." Tell your own manager that next time. See if it goes over. It may not, but it's worth a try. A mistake really is only a mistake when you repeat it. When you learn from it and you move forward, that's how you put yourself on the path to personal excellence. So check your attitude about mistake making. The fourth key, learn something every day. Learn something every day. Am I 1% better today than I was yesterday? I love asking myself that question. Am I 1% better today than I was yesterday? What am I going to do to be smarter and better every day? Put those questions down and ask yourself, what can you do to be better and smarter every day? Do you personally get excited about learning? Your attitude about learning cascades down to those around you. Okay, that's what they experience. What do they see in you? Encourage that attitude about learning in others. Do you have some people who, when it's about 5 minutes to going home time, they act as if they've been unleashed? They all of a sudden come alive, and you only get that right before they leave? I want that same energy and enthusiasm for the 8 or 10 hours when they're there with you. So think of the brain power you have. Are you encouraging people to use it and release it? You make all this happen with the fifth key to personal excellence, which is set goals. It's okay to set a large goal, but be certain you break it into ones that are bite-sized and manageable. If you don't have small wins created for yourself and for those around you, then everyone loses the motivation and energy to meet the large goal. Here's an example. If you came to me right now and asked me to run a marathon race, I would look at you and say, I can't do it. I can't imagine running a marathon. But then let's say you came to me and said, well, Lisa, will you run a 100-meter dash? And I would say, sure, I can do that. Probably even in these clothes. Let's go. I can picture the 100 meters. I can't picture a marathon. Ask your people to run lots of 100 meters. Those short dashes, because that means you give yourself and those around you the chance for success. And those wins help you meet the marathon goal and keep the momentum going. That's how we'll continue to create our personal excellence. And the sixth step is to ask for criticism. The challenge is getting it. See, as you go higher and higher in an organization as a managerial leader, people pretty much tell you what they think you want to hear. Seek criticism to get better. Does anyone in here play golf? Okay, a number of golfers. Have you ever taken a golf lesson? Okay, so that means basically you've paid for criticism. Okay? Think about it. You paid for the criticism, and then you went out and you started to try to put into practice what you had learned in your lesson. And my guess is, for a short period of time, your game got a little worse right after the lesson, until you had a chance to really put those ideas into practice and then eventually improve. Think about it. You paid for criticism. You've got people at work who are happy to give you criticism for free. So after viewing this, seek criticism so that you can get better at what you do. The eyes of others and their feedback can be invaluable. These 6 steps, love change, take risk, make mistakes, learn every day, set goals, and ask for criticism will make personal excellence happen. In our quest for excellence, let's look at the second area, service excellence. We'll look at the ABCs of service excellence. A, service excellence means inspiring people to be their best each and every day. Inspiring people to be their best each and every day. The most important thing you can do in your career is to influence your organization to provide gold standard service, the type that keeps customers loyal. Remind all those folks around you to treat customers as individuals, providing customers with personalized, customized service. Now, today's customers want a relationship. See, they remember every transaction they've had with your organization, and they expect us to remember the same. See, if they've told us information once, they should not have to tell you the same thing twice. When you and your team can create a learning relationship where you show you know what the customer wants, what they need, you remember every transaction, then the customer is invested in your organization and they're much more likely to return. And when you're that good, they'll spread incredible positive word of mouth about your organization. That's sometimes called referral revenue. You inspire those around you to be their best. Take that job seriously. Step B to service excellence is be a bureaucracy buster. Be a bureaucracy buster. Look for policies, procedures that need to be reviewed so we can make them customer friendly. Now, here's a very strong statement, but let me see if you can agree to it. Poor service is a direct reflection of management's attitudes and actions. Do you agree with that? Poor service is a direct reflection of management's attitudes and actions. Use your leadership position and check the policies that you have in your organization to ensure that they are broad enough to make your organization easy to do business with. For example, are people around you sometimes forced to say, oh, we can't do that? Oh, I can only mail that to you. We can't fax it. Our policy is those kinds of things. You need to go back and be the bureaucracy buster. Let me give you an example. My sister and I were having lunch one day. We were seated at a restaurant, had ordered pizza. Our iced tea had arrived, and it was horrible iced tea. I took a sip of it, and I got the waitress's attention and asked, could we possibly get some lemon? And she said, we don't have lemon today, we'll have it tomorrow. I am sitting at a table in this restaurant where I can see out the side door of the restaurant. They share a parking lot with a grocery store. But there is some management policy that says food distributor comes on Wednesday. It's Tuesday. Whatever we're out of, we're out of. They also, I bet, have some management policy that says you can't take some money out of the cash drawer, go walk to the grocery store, get a bunch of lemons, slice them extremely thin to help us make it to the next day until the food distributor comes. So here I am frustrated. Who do I take my frustration out on? The manager who created those policies or my waitress? My waitress. Do we have any of those kind of policies or procedures? As the leader, ask yourself what needs to be changed. And it has to be done and started at your level. And C, another key to service excellence is keep asking what's new and what's next. Competition is getting smarter and better. Are you? Challenge yourself every day. What's new? What's next? If you do what you've always done, you'll always get the same results you've been getting. It's time to get different results. That's not the path to success in today's competitive, fast-changing world. Service excellence means inspiring people to be their best, be the bureaucracy buster, and ask what's new and what's next. The third area in our quest for excellence is leadership excellence. The leader pulls it all together with these 4 action steps. 1, Leaders lead by example. You know that. That means you set the example. Small things send big messages. Like it or not, you know this, you're always being watched. People expect you to do the things you ask and expect of them. Remember, you can't expect people to be more than you are. So if you want people to be honest and supportive, service-minded, then you need to be honest, supportive, and service-minded. So we can't expect people to be more than we are. Now, the second key to leadership excellence is listen. Listening is crucial to your success. You don't have all the answers. So in today's world, to be an effective leader, you've got to seek information, ask questions, then shut your mouth and listen. There's a proverb that says, "From listening comes wisdom." And it's very true. Listening is the most powerful skill you have as a managerial leader and as a leader of customer service. Great customer service starts with great listening. To make certain you're good at listening, let's try something. I have an exercise. It's a little mathematical problem to see how good you are at using information you receive. You ready? An elevator starts off with 6 passengers. It is a self-service elevator, so there's no one else in it at any time except passengers. At the first floor, 2 passengers get off, no one gets on. At the next stop, 2 more get off, no one gets on. At the next stop, no one gets off, but 3 people get on. 4 people get off at the next stop. Next it stops and 3 people get on. At the next floor, 2 people get on. It stops again and 6 people get off. Without communicating with me or anyone else, just jot down what you came up with. And what was that? Empty, 0, no one's left. What was my question? Did I ask a question? No. I said, I have an exercise, a little mathematical problem to see how good you are at using information you receive. However, I didn't ask a question. What were you answering? What you did is human nature. We assumed the question would be, how many people were left on the elevator? And if I had asked that, you were right. No one. But I didn't ask the question. I could have asked, how many times did the elevator stop? You weren't ready for that one. But notice what we do. We are so ready to answer everything. So we really don't listen. Review your listening skills. Most of us have fallen into some bad habits. We assume, we jump to conclusions, we interrupt, we get distracted by some of our own thoughts. People love great listeners. I want you to be one of the greats. 3, create the vision and dream. Dreams and vision give direction. Why? Because that's what inspires, that's what uplifts people, and that's what challenges people. It guides them and it gives them a sense of purpose. Humans have 2 needs. We want to stand out and be a star, and we also want to belong to something greater than ourselves. So what's the sense of purpose that you give those around you so that they can feel like they're a part of something greater than themselves? And you as the leader, you create that by talking about the vision and the dream. You live it with your daily action. You then look for others that live it. You reward it when people are a part of the dream and the vision. The 4th leadership strategy is provide the energy and enthusiasm. Now let me ask you, if you don't have energy and enthusiasm, change your mind and get it. Okay, it's that simple. I believe energy and enthusiasm are contagious. Do you believe that? Do you know someone who has like no energy, no enthusiasm? I mean, they're the kind of person who you don't know if we just lost one of our best customers or we just gained our best customer. I recommend when you have an energy and enthusiasm, tell your face, show it. People need to see it so that it might be inspired in them. People with energy and enthusiasm have something called personal power. They're the kind of people who can walk in a room and they just command attention. They have this confidence. They can even do really stupid things like walk into a closet thinking it's the exit and come out looking like I meant to go in there. It's amazing. I mean, that's personal power, and it comes via our energy, our enthusiasm, and our attitude. Attitude is the foundation for all this to happen. Please know, I don't stand here and say positive thinking always works, but I do say negative thinking always works in a negative way. So I ask you to change what you think because that influences our attitude and our energy and enthusiasm. Remember, attitude is the foundation for all this to happen. The quest for excellence means focusing on personal excellence, service excellence, and leadership excellence. When you have command of those three areas, then you can inspire them in others on a daily basis. What matters is how good you are at leading your staff. Excellence is what counts as a managerial leader today. To be one of the winners, your actions count. You can't just know what works, you must put it into action. Excellence starts with an attitude and an outlook, and then becomes reality by your action. Your people will watch what you do, not what you say. The quest for excellence. Remember, personal, service, and leadership excellence will separate the winning organizations from the also-rans in today's competitive society.